This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and fire. We keeping the foot on the what? On the Knicks. We keeping the foot on the what? On the Knicks. Let's talk about it, man.
Go ahead,
Teddy Atlas. The reason why he said what he said about Hagler versus Hearns, I'm going to give you guys the deep-rooted and the deep-seated reason behind that. It's because Al Heyman runs boxing. You see, from a fundamental, a rudimental, an elemental standpoint, boxing was never ran by a black individual. Although it was dominated by black individuals, it was never ran by a black individual. Now, not only is the sport dominated by black individuals, like it's always been, elite black fighters, it's also ran by a black individual. And what you see is not only those that are non-black that are going against the grain, but you also see those that are what we call coconuts, Oreos, those that have self-hatred of their own black skin. They don't like what Al Heyman represents. They don't like what he's all about. They don't like the independent contractor mindset. They don't like the fact that these black fighters can basically govern their affairs and run their career how they see fit. And what it does is it puts people in a precarious situations where they're feeling some type of way about it. This is really what it boils down to. This is really what it comes down to. This is really what it's all about. It has nothing to do with Hagler versus Hearns. It's more so a deep-rooted issue. It's more so a double standards. It's more so having your cake and want to eat it too. This is why Teddy Atlas has gone against the grain and stopped supporting boxing and basically position and proposition himself to MMA. Who runs MMA? Dana White. Who runs MMA? White boys. So of course Teddy Atlas feels at home in him positioning himself to the MMA, even though he started in boxing, even though his upstart was in boxing. Wasn't Cus Mayoto, Mike Tyson's trainer? Wasn't he his fucking mentor? Wasn't Cus his fucking mentor? So when it's all said and done, really what does it boil down to? It boils down to this. Teddy Atlas was basically G-checked by Mike Tyson. And since then, he hasn't recovered. There was a time when Mike Tyson was considered an elite black boxer. Let me say it again. There was a time when Mike Tyson was considered an elite black boxer. And at the height of his prominence, at the height of his dominance, he basically told Cus, I don't want this motherfucker in the training camp. Almost was about to beat his shit, split his shit. And since then, Teddy Atlas has had a flagrant, Teddy Atlas has had a definite, and Teddy Atlas has had basically what we would say a tirade to go against the grain of where he started, combat sports wise, and i.e. boxing. So now, Spence and Crawford looms. It's two elite black fighters. Basically, two of the best, and they happen to look like me. They happen to look like you. They happen to look like my hair color. And he's feeling some type of way about it. Spence and Crawford got him feeling some type of way. Spence and Crawford got him feeling some type of way. Spence and Crawford got him feeling some type of way, because it has nothing to do with Spence and Crawford. It has everything to do with the fact that it is ran by PBC. It's a PBC product. It's a PBC branding. And who is behind that? Al Heyman. So you see, when Teddy Atlas makes the strike, he makes the hit against Spence versus Crawford, he's actually taking a hit against Al Heyman, but it's an erroneous hit. It's a false hit. Because once Al Heyman becomes a sanctioning body, once Al Heyman starts having PBC belts, he's definitely going to dominate the sport. It's coming. Teddy Atlas knows this. This is why Teddy Atlas is basically spitting against the very sport that basically gave him life to even fucking talk. It's the things that make you say, It's the things that make you say, But in its most cold-hearted, in its most unadulterated, And in its most cutthroat, truth-telling fashion, this is what it's all about. The Al Heyman dichotomy. This is why you have self-hatred black individuals like the LDBC, like guys like Barbershop Conversations, like guys like Blue Blood Sports TV, building up situations like Black Prime to try to go against Al Heyman. And then you have guys like Teddy Atlas that have always revered, that have always showcased. Yes, because hatred is a revering of something, especially when it's something that you don't understand. But have also showcased their hatred and their trollisms for a guy who just came in and took over the sport and didn't even last as long as they have. Didn't even basically stayed in the sport as long as they've stayed in the sport, and has figured it out in ways that they could never figure it out. Has come in and brought modernized, technological, savvy approaches to boxing, being an advisor, not a fucking promoter, doing things in a very versatile way. So it's clearly got Teddy.
Go ahead, he
clearly got the old school structure of boxing feeling some type of way like they're hot and bothered like grits and they don't know what to do with it. So when it's all said and done, that is the real reason behind it. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying to you. I keeps the foot on the what? On the Knicks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the Knicks. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out.